So girls, let us continue with Earth's sphere. The first lesson is Earth spheres, what we have completed. And today you are going to see a short video and I will send you answers so that you can complete your books. And after seeing the short video, we will start with next lesson, Earth history.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, briefly, I want Zishan to say me what she learned in the lesson of Earth's sphere. Zishan, quickly say me the different Earth system and what did you understand from them? Started from GHCAB. Zishan, are you there?
Yes.
Yeah, G is for, come on, start.
Atmosphere.
Wait a minute.
Tending plants, digging in the
Yes, yes, Zishan.
Atmosphere, then
A,
cryosphere,
C, cryosphere.
and then geosphere,
Very good.
then biosphere,
And
then
H is
hydrosphere.
here. Very good.
Hydrosphere.
And you know that when I say cryosphere, it's ice. When I say hydrosphere, is water. When I say biosphere, living things and non-living things. When I say geosphere, layers of earth. So you all are perfect in this lesson now. We'll just watch this video now and we can continue with the next lesson.
The butterfly and plants are part of the biosphere. Insects, such as butterflies, bees, and flies, are important to plants because they help pollinate flowers. Sam learned the hard way that without water, plants wilt and die. Plants need water in the hydrosphere in order to flourish. Topsoil, part of the geosphere, helps to anchor plants in the ground and provides nutrients that plants need to live and grow. Sam makes sure that he adds compost to the soil to replenish lost nutrients. The plants do better when they have the food and water they need from the soil. Welcome to the lesson, Earth's Spheres. In this lesson, you will explore the 5 spheres that make up the Earth system. The vocabulary words for this lesson are Earth system, energy budget, hydrosphere, geosphere, atmosphere, cryosphere, and biosphere. Click each term to find out more about it. Did you know that Earth is the only planet in our solar system with life? What makes Earth so special? Living things on Earth need water, air, a source of energy, and the right temperatures. The Earth system has all these things. Let's find out more about the Earth system. The Earth system is made up of these 5 spheres. Click each sphere to find out more.
Okay, let us begin. Atmosphere. When I say atmosphere, you know we are talking about nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide. Okay? Yeah.
The atmosphere is a thin layer of gases that surrounds Earth. The atmosphere is 78% nitrogen, 21% oxygen, and 1% other gases.
Girls, grade 7 means you must know. It's very important. You must know when you look outside in the sky, you must know its atmosphere. It contains 78% of nitrogen, 21% of oxygen, and other gases, 1% which has carbon dioxide and many other gases and water vapor. Okay? Here.
The geosphere is the mostly rocky part of Earth and includes the interior part of the planet. The geosphere is made up of 3 main layers: the crust, the mantle, and the core. The hydrosphere is the portion of the Earth system that is liquid water. Even though most of Earth's water is in its oceans, the hydrosphere can be found in many parts of Earth, including lakes, rivers, aquifers, in rock and soil, and water in the atmosphere. The cryosphere is the part of the Earth system that is frozen water. Some people think that the cryosphere is only found at Earth's poles, but it is found on many parts of Earth. Ice is found near the equator at high altitudes and as snow on mountaintops. The biosphere is made up of living things and the areas of Earth where they are found. Seaweed and fish in the ocean are part of the biosphere. So are cactus in the desert and penguins at the South Pole. The atmosphere is divided into separate layers with very different conditions in each. Every layer performs an important function.
See, girls, we did not study about these layers, but you know about these. These are troposphere, stratosphere, mesospheres, and thermosphere. And we have an ozone layer which protects us from UV radiation.
But most living things can only exist in the lowest layer, called the troposphere. Click each layer to learn more about it. The hydrosphere is made up of liquid water. Even though 97% of the hydrosphere is saltwater, much of the life on Earth depends on the 3% that is freshwater. Click the images to see examples of freshwater and saltwater in the hydrosphere. Rivers are part of the hydrosphere.
Rivers are fresh.
Most lakes and ponds are freshwater.
Water.
The hydrosphere can be found in the atmosphere in the form of clouds and rain.
So rain which comes is also fresh water.
Some lakes, such as Mono Lake, are saltwater lakes.
Because they are connected to oceans, girls.
Some of Earth's water is found beneath its. The cryosphere is the part of the Earth system where water is in solid form, that is, where water is frozen as ice or snow. The cryosphere is made up of sea ice, lake and river ice, snow, glaciers, and ice sheets, and permafrost. Click the pictures to learn more about each part of the cryosphere. The biosphere is made up of all the living things on Earth, from a microscopic bacterium to a huge elephant. The rainforests near the equator have more species of living things than any other place on Earth. It is the most diverse part of the biosphere. Some organisms, like this flea, are parasites. Parasites live by harming other living things. It is really cold in polar climates, but that doesn't mean the biosphere isn't here too. You will find many kinds of living things, such as this caribou, in polar regions. Geysers shoot very hot water up into the air. It would seem impossible that anything could live in water so hot. But the biosphere is here too. Some bacteria are adapted to withstand these extreme temperatures.
Especially RK. RK kind of eukarya exist in extreme conditions. They can even exist in very, very salty water.
Okay.
The geosphere extends from the surface of Earth.
You know what? I have explained you very well about it.
None of Earth's spheres stands alone.
I just want you to see the last part that is about.
We've learned that none of Earth's spheres is isolated from other spheres. They interact with each other in all kinds of ways. The hydrosphere interacts.
See what we have covered and we'll start.
You've learned a lot about Earth's spheres. Before you finish, take a quick look at the main points you covered. The Earth system contains 5 spheres: atmosphere, hydrosphere, cryosphere, geosphere, and biosphere. The atmosphere is the air that surrounds Earth. The hydrosphere is Earth's liquid water. The cryosphere is Earth's frozen water. The geosphere is the mostly solid, rocky part of Earth. The biosphere includes all the living things on Earth. Earth's spheres are all connected. They interact by transferring energy and matter back and forth. The flow of energy into and out of the Earth system makes up Earth's energy budget. The sun is the main source of the energy coming into the Earth system, and energy leaves the Earth system as heat emitted into space. If the net flow of energy in and out is not in balance, global temperatures can increase or decrease. Now that you've finished this lesson, if you wish, you can go back and review any part of the lesson again.
Once you are done with this lesson now, let us begin the next one. Okay, girls. So next lesson, we started yesterday weathering. What is
Weathering.
Dana? Do you know what is weathering? Dana, Zishan, Miral. Miral, do you know what is weathering?
Yeah.
Yesterday I told you I drew some rocks and then I made it into small. What is weathering?
The breakdown of rock material.
The breaking down of rock materials. At least this line you have to know when you start this lesson. What is weathering? Breaking of rocks. Are you listening, Miral? Weathering means breaking rocks into smaller pieces with help of anything, with water, with wind, with anything. When they break down into small pieces, it's called as weathering. And when they move from one place to another, they are called as erosion. So rocks can change shape and composition over time. It's true. Rocks cannot be weathered by wind and chemicals in the air. It's false. They can be weathered. They can be broken by wind and also chemicals. A rusty car is an example of weathering. Girls, a car, is it example of weathering? Rusty car?
Yes.
Okay, yes, because it is breaking down. Plants and animal can cause weathering of rocks. True. How do plants cause weathering? Who will say yesterday I drew a plant and I have told you how do plants cause breaking of rocks? Yes, Judy or Noor? How do plants and animal cause weathering of rocks?
By
Any idea? Like plants are so big, they have roots. So they grow inside. The roots, they grow inside the earth underground and they break the rocks. So this is weathering by plants. This is called as biological weathering. And any idea how animals cause weathering? Anyone? Why? How do you think that animals break the rocks? Anybody can answer this question. It's a very simple question, girls. Use your logic. How do animals break rocks? No one? Judy? What do you think? How come? Noor?
Maybe when they sprint or run.
They run or they burrow. Don't you think so? There are animals who burrow, like rabbit, like what do you call it as like mice. There are many who, yeah, they burrow, and they that time the pieces of rocks become more smaller. So this is biological weathering where animals and plants, I will again draw and show you so that you don't forget ever in your life that weathering. And here the, like example, the roots are there. Okay, the roots are there. The roots inside, because the big trees have very large roots. To imagine this roots and this stem, the trunk is holding the tree. So these roots, what do? They grow more and more, and they inside they break the rocks and they extend inside. So this is helping. And then animals, they burrow. The word is burrow. They burrow the ground. Okay, and they break. And as Noor told, sometimes they sprint around and they break the rocks. Zishan, please, as always, can you please read the vocabulary words here?
Weathering, physical weathering,
Abrasion.
abrasion, chemical weathering, oxidation, acid precipitation.
Anyone remember how acid rain comes? What the normal rain, it mixes with what to give you acid rain? Anyone who remember? We have done this in the last human impact on air, last what do you call as term. Anyone who remember how come acid rain comes? What is the cause of acid rain? Nobody? from the factories and from the cars. The pollutant come out, sulfur dioxide and many other gases into air. And this rain, it mixes with these gases and produce acid rain, girls. Now coming here, what is weathering? Did you know that sand on the beach may have once been part of large boulder? The breakdown of materials by physical and chemical process. The breaking of rock by physical and chemical process is called weathering. There are two types, physical and chemical, girls. Sometimes they say the biological comes like the plants and animals also, they come under physical weathering. But we have actually physical, chemical and biological. Now very carefully look onto the board and see what I am drawing. I will explain you physical weathering. I'll explain you physical weathering. In physical weathering, I will explain you one part. Girls, imagine this is a rock here and there is a hole here. There is a hole here, very small hole. Okay, there is a very small hole. Are you seeing, everyone?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so there is a rock here and you have hole. Better I draw here. Okay, and you have a road. And now it is raining. It's raining in this area. It is raining in this area. And what happens to the water? The water goes inside hole, okay, or inside. All right. Now, at night, it is very cold. And this water, it freezes. Now, I will give you example how expansion occurs. Now, when you take a bottle, okay, when you take a bottle filled with water and you keep in the refrigerator, if you keep in the, not the fridge, you keep in the refrigerator, what happened there? What happened to your bottle? What happened to this water? It freezes, right?
Yes.
Imagine you forget to take it out from the freezer, that's plastic bottle, maybe 10 to 12 days. After 10 to 12 days, what happened to the bottle, girls, after taking it out?
To extend.
Don't you think so? It expands. Now the bottle
Yes.
is very fat. Have you ever seen this, girls?
Yeah.
The bottle, it expands.
Ended.
So when water freezes, it expands, girls. When water freezes, this is what I'm trying to explain you, compare it. It freezes and then it expands. This is what happens at night. When it is a sunny day in the morning, the sun rays come here. And what happened? Again, the water will, what will happen to the water, girls? It will melt.
Freeze.
It will melt. At night, it was freezing. At day in the sun, it was melting. So when it was freezing, it was expanding. When it was freezing, it was expanding. When it is melting, it is contracting. Okay, like example. Now this bottle, the expanded bottle, you try to keep in the sun. Don't you think that the plastic will shrink and it will try to come back, you know, some very different shape?
Yes.
This expanding and contracting daily, this take years, girls. This take years, maybe 10 to 12 years or 2 to 3 years. This happens, expanding, contracting, expanding, contracting. And finally, slowly, this is breaking and this is breaking because of this expanding. And finally, the rock breaks into small pieces. Did you understand this? Physical?
Yes.
I thought instead of reading and explaining you, I should draw and show you something. Perfectly good, perfectly understood, or you want me to explain again?
Perfectly understood.
That when it rains, the water is collected. Then it freezes. It expands. In the day, due to sunlight, it contracts. This expansion and contraction, it breaks the rock. And breaks the rock means weathering. Okay?
Okay. Okay.
Now here. Temperature changes, pressure changes, plant and animal actions. I told you plant means you will remember the roots, you will remember that tree what I made. Animal,
Yes.
the mice and the rabbit, which is, continuously digging. Water and wind, the water splashes daily on something and the rock, it becomes softer and not soft exactly, it breaks. Okay, as material break apart, they can become even more exposed to physical changes. For example, a large boulder can be broken apart by ice and water over time. The boulder can split into two. Now, these are two rocks exposed to the agent of physical weathering. The amount of surface area exposed to the agent of physical weathering increases. Anyway, see, this is what, yes. This is called ice wedging. The water is collected, it becomes ice, it expands and it breaks, it becomes again water, then it becomes ice, and this way they see these cracks, do you see here, which were caused by ice? This is called ice wedging, what I explained you.
Yes.
And over time, and this is called as ice wedging. This is what is here. Ice wedging,
Okay.
time also known as frost wedging, which cause a rock to physically break apart as shown in the image. Ice wedging causes crack in rocks to expand. Can you read it out, anyone? Judy, read it out. It's the same what I've explained you in lines. Ice wedging.
Ice wedging, sometimes known as frost wedging, can also cause rocks to physically break apart. As shown in the image below, ice wedging causes cracks in rocks to expand as water seeps in and freezes. When water collects in cracks
Cracks.
in
Rock.
rocks and the temperature drops, the water may freeze. Water expands as it freezes to become ice. As the ice expands, the crack will widen. As more water enters the crack, it expands to an even larger size. Eventually, a small crack
In a
in a
rock
rock
can
is
cause
said
even
to be the
largest of
largest
rock
rock
to
split
split.
apart.
So do you see? This is the real picture, how it expands and how it breaks the rocks. Did you understand?
Yes.
Guys, what do you think? Physical weathering, it happens by plants, animal, water, wind. We can write anything here. Plant, they wrote here, plant here. Okay, animal actions. I cannot say animal, I can say animal actions. They move around and they run and they dig. Water, of course. Wind. So my question tomorrow, if I ask you, how is it caused? You can say wind, water, gravity, rolling down. The rocks, they're falling down and that's because of gravity, and pressure changes. Pressure. All right. By this, I end up my class and have a break. Take care. Happy weekend. Have a nice weekend, girls.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Mommy, bye-bye.
Bye.